to steal your faith, because if he can steal your faith, then he can steal your eternal destination. This thing is, it really is a mind game. It really is a war of the mind. Hey everybody. Janae, how you doing? Good afternoon to you. Keisha, welcome. Donna, welcome. Thank you all for hopping on again. Perfect attendance. Hope everybody's having a good morning, moving into your afternoon. Welcome, Sheila. Thank you for hopping on. Who else was that? Okay. Well, while everyone's hopping on so far this week, we began on Tuesday talking about Write the Vision. We have we got maybe about 10 people on here. Okay, so it's accountability time. Welcome, Brother Whitfield. Stephanie, welcome. So I want you to do me a favor. I want you to, in the comments section, hey Emma Bodie, in the comments section, I want you to write if you did this. If you didn't, don't do anything. If you didn't do it, don't do anything. But if you did, in the comments section, give me a thumbs up if you took the time out to write out your vision and dreams and things like that we talked about. If you took some time over the last 2 days since Tuesday to write down some of your dreams and goals, I want you to give me a thumbs up in the comments here. Sheila did it. I applaud you, Sheila. Hey, Thomas. Who else was? Stephanie did it. I applaud you, Stephanie. Way to go, Stephanie. My mother did it. I knew my mother would. I have no doubt. Donna, see, I love this. Donna did it. Janae did it. All right. All right. Excellent. So you took the time to write that out. Now, I know yesterday was a little bit, it was a lot there. It was a lot there. So you may not have that finished today. And if you don't, I totally understand. But hopefully, yesterday we talked about I am here. Tammy Wilson did it a couple weeks ago. She was in the spirit before we even started teaching on it. She did it. All right. Antoinette did it. All right. Emma. All right. Man, everybody. Okay. Praise God. Praise God. I want to applaud everybody. I mean, all of you have done that. Yesterday we talked about I am here. I am here. Taking the time out to ask yourself 2 questions. What do you own and what do you owe? What do you own and what do you owe? And that can be a little bit more of a challenging activity. But at the same time, it's something that we need to do. Let me just ask. I'm not going to even, hey, yesterday somebody might have done that. If you did the what do I own and what do I owe, if you took time to sit down and write that down last night, because we just did that, talked about that yesterday afternoon. Give me a thumbs up if you did. And if not, I know it's 4th of July weekend. I understand that. But it might take you 1 hour. You might get up early on Saturday and just, sit out on your porch or look out the window or whatever you do. Sit at the kitchen table, however you do it. Look at my mother. Again, she did it yesterday. My mother is just, she's, what do they call them? She is a, I forgot what they call them. People who, Donna did it too. All right. Just people who excel, just excel at everything. You just ask them to do something, they excel at everything. I got to brag on my mother real quick. Donna did that. Donna, thank you so much. I'm happy for you, and I applaud you as well. Okay, all right. So yeah, again, yesterday, what do you owe? What do you own? But what I was saying was take some time out this weekend. I know, you're going to be around family or maybe around family, but if you can get up early, take an hour, have you a cup of coffee if you drink coffee or orange juice or whatever. Sit down and take some time to what do I own and what do I owe? What do I own and what do I owe? Add all of that up. Add the what do I own up. Add the what do I owe column up. You can probably put it like a line down the middle of a sheet of paper. What do I own on the left? What do I owe on the right? The amounts. Add up those and then subtract what you owe from what you own, and that will give you what's called your net worth. Your net worth. And if you need more detail on that, then watch yesterday's. Today I want to talk with you. Come from the book of Proverbs, chapter 21, verse 5. I want you to notice something, that all of these principles are coming from the book of Proverbs. I always share with you, you may not do it every month, but at least 1 month out of the year. I mean, read through the book of Proverbs. That's one chapter every day, 31 chapters in the book of Proverbs. There's so much wisdom. Proverbs is a book of wisdom. So much wisdom in the book of Proverbs. But most of these are coming right out of Proverbs. Proverbs 21:5. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 5 says this: good planning and hard work lead to prosperity. Now listen, again, I know you heard it, but break down that verse, because remember, when we're reading the Word of God, we're not just reading it like it's a novel. We're reading it to glean from it. We're reading it to feed from it. We're reading it to get what it's saying. So what does it say? It says, good planning and hard work lead to prosperity. 1 + 2 = 3. That's what it is. 1 + 2 = 3. So first of all, it didn't say planning. It says good planning. So now we want to make sure that our planning is not just planning, but that it's good. And what I really believe that means is wise planning. Wise planning. Good planning plus hard work. Remember, we talked about yesterday that we learn and then we apply. The apply is the work part. Learn, apply, and then as we learn and apply and we're seeing results in our lives, what are we going to turn around and do? We're going to teach it. Learn, apply, teach, right? So Proverbs 21:5 says good planning, specifically good planning, not just planning, but good planning plus hard work. Now, if you remember yesterday, I shared with you, here's the deal. Our educational system never, ever, ever, ever prepared us to be wealthy. It prepared us to be an employee. I explained that yesterday. It never prepared you to be wealthy. The educational system taught you how to get enough knowledge to get a decent job or a good job or whatever. Again, it doesn't matter whether it's your high school diploma, you have an associate's degree, you have a bachelor's degree, you have a master's degree, you may have a doctorate. Every one of those degrees taught you how to get a job. They did not teach you how to be an entrepreneur. It did not teach you how to get wealthy. It taught you how to get a job and work for someone else, building their dream, right? Again, not discouraging education at all, not at all. But I'm just sharing with you the facts behind what our educational system prepares for us. So I said so my point is this, that you go to work from 8 to 4, 9 to 5, whatever your hours are. You might work third shift, whatever. You go to work, you do your job. All right. Do your job. You're excellent on your job. Great. You're getting promotions, hopefully. Great. You're getting salary increases, hopefully. Great. But where your financial freedom and your wealth will come from will be after you get off work. What do you do after you get off work? Right? Now, it doesn't mean that you get a second job. I'm not saying things like that. What I am saying is that there's some things that you have to make sure that you're keeping track of and taking time, not every day, but maybe weekly to keep track of where your life is concerned. You want to have a journal. You want to make sure that you have some type of where your planning is concerned, good planning. If you may be old school and you have a checkbook and you keep everything in your check register, make sure you're keeping it to the penny. Seriously. And I mean that literally. Keep your checkbook. If you don't have checkbook, I understand there may be some people who do. You might have Quicken on your computer, and it automatically goes from your account online into your Quicken software, and then you don't have to write anything. You just go in there and put the categories in, and you keep track of your spending. The point of the matter is that in order to have good planning, you got to keep track of what's going on, right? So don't just take that old debit card out and just begin to spend as you will. Don't do that. Don't pull out the credit cards and spend as you will. Keep track of your spending so that you know where your money is going. And then as you know where your money is going, now you have a good template to be able to determine, okay, am I spending too much over here? Do I have a little bit over here that I can spend more in? And that area, you know what we call it. I'm calling it good planning, but we call it that B word, budget. All right. It's just making sure that we are able to keep track of where our money goes, right? Listen, if you're using a credit card, ideally, if you're using a credit card, if you can't pay it off at the end of the month, then don't use it. Don't use it. Credit cards, listen, some people try to, I can control myself. Well, usually that's how it starts off, thinking that we can control ourselves. Then we bury ourselves in mounds of credit card debt, and it's like drowning in water. You're trying to get up to the top, and it's so difficult. So you may already be there. If you're there, then we'll talk about that. But if not, you know what? Ideally, if you can't pay it off, then don't buy it. Okay. Now, if you have the discipline, and you have the discipline to pay something off, and we talked about credit cards before. I just got to throw that out. You never really want to spend more than 10% of your credit line on your credit card, because once you start spending more than 10% on that credit line on your credit card, it's beginning to affect your FICO score. And then as your FICO score goes lower and lower, ideally you want your FICO score to be somewhere between 700 and 800, and you can go to, what's that called? Well, that's not really a good one. But anyway, there are plenty of things you can go online and get your FICO score. But ideally you want to be 700, 800. If you're in the 600s, that's what they consider average. Okay, but what average means is this: when you go to get a car or you go to buy a home, you're going to pay higher interest rates. Higher interest rates means you're going to be paying a whole bunch more money than what you have to pay for that car or for that home. Okay, so you want to get your credit score up to 700, and one of the main ways to do that is, number one, pay your credit cards on time, and then number two, keep them under 10%. So if you have a credit card that has $1,000 line on it, that means that you can't spend more than $100 as far as it carrying over into the next month, right? Now you might have a $1,000 credit card and spend $900, but if you pay it off that same month, then you're good. But if something's going to carry over into the next month, then the carryover shouldn't be more than 10% of the line of credit on that credit card. All right? So that's that. So anyway, get back to planning real quick. Back to planning. Good planning and hard work leads to prosperity. What we want, everybody, is we want financial freedom. We want financial freedom. What is financial? See, I'm not talking about you becoming a millionaire. Okay, if you become a millionaire, Hey, let me hold a couple $100. No, I'm just playing. You become a millionaire, thank God. All right. But I'm just talking about financial freedom. Every person on here can become financially free. It does not matter what your age, what your background, what your gender, doesn't matter how much money you're making or not making right now. If you have the proper plan, you can become financially free. What is financially free? Financially free is being free from the anxiety about financial matters. Free from anxiety about financial matters. In other words, financially free, that might be on your dream list, is that, you know what, I'm able to go buy what I want to buy and I don't even have to look at the price tag. That's financially free, right? I'm able to buy what I want to buy, and not only do I not have to look at the price tag, but I'm not stressed about it. You know, every time we make purchases, we thinking, you know, you're calculating in your head, okay, I got this much money, and then this bill's about to come out, and then see all of that stuff, all of that anxiety that goes into just making one purchase, just one purchase. That means we're not financially free yet. So we want to have a good plan. So let me throw some things out at you real quick. What's his name? Dave Ramsey. Anyway, Dave Ramsey, some very good things that Dave Ramsey talks about. For those of you who are familiar with Dave Ramsey, one thing he says is this. First thing to do, and I totally agree with this, first thing to do is to establish your emergency fund. An emergency fund. What is your emergency fund for? Emergencies. It is not to go shopping with. It is not to chip away from because you want a pair of shoes or something. That's not an emergency. An emergency is an emergency. Okay. You know, you had a flat tire and you got to have another tire so that you can get to work tomorrow. Buy a tire. That's what your emergency fund is for. You may need something repaired, you know, in the house. That's what your emergency fund is for. It's for an emergency. So ideally, you want to have a minimum, let's just say about $1,000 in an emergency fund. That's your first thing. That's your first thing. Before you start paying off any bills, pay your regular bills, but before you start paying off any credit cards, any of that stuff, establish, number one, an emergency fund of $1,000. That way, you got it sitting there. Something goes wrong. Again, your battery goes out on your car. Hey, I can go buy me a battery, no problem. I take that $100 out of my emergency fund, go buy my battery. I'm good for work tomorrow. And then I will replace that $100 when I get paid, right? So you always want to keep that emergency fund right at $1,000. That's one thing. Number two, he talks about, which is really good, is what's called a debt snowball. For example, start with your lowest. You're paying your regular bills, right? Start with your lowest credit card amount. Let's say your lowest credit card, you owe $200. You owe $200. And so let's just say you have, you went in and you've developed your budget. And after you really, you're serious now, y'all. You're serious. We've got to talk more about this tomorrow. You're serious about your budget. Okay, this is how much money I'm going to spend here. This is how much money I'm going to spend on food. And after you set a good budget, you see, let's say you got $75 left. Okay, that $75 is going to start going towards that first $200 credit card balance that you have. So July, I'm going to pay $75 towards that credit card. That takes me down to what? $125. And then August, I'm going to pay $75. That takes me down to $50. And then September, I'm going to pay the remaining $50 on that one. And then that one is paid off, right? So what you want to do then is you want to take that $75 and then remember you were paying probably on that $200 credit card a minimum, the minimum amount that we can pay, like $25. So you take that 25 plus that 75, that's $100. Now you take that $100 and then you attack the next credit card. And then you take the minimum for that and add it to the $100, and then you attack the next credit card. That's called the debt snowball. And it really starts to gain momentum as you're paying these things off. But you see, this takes discipline. And that's the thing that we have to make sure we have is discipline. It means, check this out, and I'm about finished. It means that you will have to have what's called delayed gratification. It means for a season of life, you're not going to be able to spend like you usually spend. Why? Because you want to pay off the debt so that you can be financially free. Then you can buy what you want to buy cash. So it's a season of life where you are sacrificing. Nope, I can't go get the big dollar item. Nope, I can't go buy that. Nope. And this might be a couple years, y'all. It could be a couple years. But would it be worth it? Would it be worth it that after 2, even 3 years, I don't know, after that amount of time, you're totally debt free, and now you have the extra money in your account that if you want to purchase something, now you've developed discipline, you've developed wisdom, and now when you purchase something, your purchases will be much wiser, and you will have the money in the bank to buy it. You don't even have to charge it. But here's what you want to do. If you want to charge it, you charge it, but you know you got the money in the bank that at the end of the month, pay it off. That's the results. That's the benefits of you sacrificing or having what's called delayed gratification. You're delaying your gratification for a certain amount of time in order to get yourself out of your situation. Then you're able to do what you want to do when you want to do it, and you are what's called financially free. My God, financially free, where you don't have to even think about what you're about for the most part. You don't have to think about what you want to buy. If you want to buy somebody else something, you want to buy you a nice pair of shoes, you can afford it. And you don't even have to think twice about it. You can go up to the counter with a smile on your face, and they say, is this going to be on your charge? No, I'm paying for this, on my debit card. It's coming straight out of my account. I don't need a Macy's card, or I don't need a Louis Vuitton card or whatever. I can buy it, and I'm buying it cash. That's what I'm talking about. So we're going to pick up more on this good planning and hard work lead to prosperity tomorrow, because I have some more things. I thought I'd be able to get it done today, but I wasn't able to. So tomorrow we'll pick up on this at noontime. I will see you then. Have a great rest of your Thursday. And once again, I want to applaud everyone that did complete writing down your vision and finding out where you are, what do you own, what do you owe. If you haven't done those two, take some time to do that. Maybe some time this evening to do that. And we're going to pick up again tomorrow. God bless you. I love you all. I'm praying for you. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.